Hello, and welcome back. We made it to Tuesday once again. I'm psychic medium Samantha Faye, and I'm thrilled that you are taking the time out of your day to be here with me. To this we say yes. I'm trying to get my cards out. They're stuck in my drawer. So how has your week been? What is new? What has happened? Have you been sleeping well? Are you hydrated enough? Are you exercising? You know, one of the things that I was thinking as I was getting on here is I have a slight headache, and I had a really bad headache last night going to sleep. And I know that it is because I've gotten back into hot yoga. So not quite Bikram, but hot yoga. And last night I went and it is flushing my energy system. I forgot how incredible yoga, and more specifically hot yoga, is for flushing not only our physical body, but our emotional and energy body as well. So I'm interested in hearing from you, other than meditation, what is it that you do to cleanse your body? What is it that you do to cleanse your energy space? I wrote an article one time for the Reno Tahoe Tonight about energy hygiene, and that energy hygiene is just as important as taking a shower or brushing your teeth or doing these other things, that we do things to detox and let our body release. And at the same time, it's so important to pay attention to how are you energetically releasing. So, Transformational Tuesday is a great way. If I do say so myself, we can get a lot done here, right? We can get a lot of purging. A lot happens. We recognize some patterns. We see ourselves a little bit more clearly. And more importantly, we have a vision. We create a vision for what is possible for you in your future. Like, how cool is that? To that we say yes, right? Heck yes. All right, let's go ahead and start with the prayer. So, as we call in divine truth and love into this sacred space, we invoke the highest possible healing for each and every Transformational Tuesday viewer and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. Woo! I always feel so much energy moving through my space every time I say that prayer. So thank you for being here with me. Let's go ahead and pull some cards for this week. So remember, whether you're watching this with me live or you're watching this on the replay or you're even finding it on YouTube 5 months from now, it does not matter. There it is. This message is for you. Whatever it is that you are going through, whatever it is that you are accepting and seeing for yourself, give yourself the opportunity to really recognize that time and space have no matter in this arena, that we get to play as it is working for you in real time. All right, beautiful. So let's go ahead and see what the cards. Let's start backwards. Let's kind of start with the end of the week and go to the beginning. What is the problem, or what is it that we're looking to solve? What is the insight? So, conclusion here. We have the Three of Michael. Release the past. What do you need to do to release the past? Some of those things that are really, really sticky, and some of those things that are really not feeling well for us, and some of those things that feel like they have hooks into the core of our own memory system or into the core of our own body being awareness. Give yourself the opportunity to see, what is it that you can do to release the past, and how? I find one way that's really easy, or not to say that it's all super easy, but we can simplify it, is to write letters, like goodbye letters, almost like a Dear John letter, but with compassion and love. But that's one way to really shut these doors. One of the things I've been noticing for myself in the last week is that I have these chapters in my life, but I've left the door just cracked open. And I'm like, okay, well, but maybe that'll come back around, right? Maybe, whether it's a relationship or an opportunity or whatever it is, I leave these doors cracked. And what I've learned is that those cracks are siphoning my energy out of it. So as I'm recollecting my energy, and I'm sharing this with you in hopes that you can also recognize and see, maybe that's your pattern too, right? So that when you close these doors and you end those agreements and you end that chapter, right? You get to that bump, the end of like end of dance songs where it ends with dun dun, that's the end. So can you find these spaces of the end in what needs to be closed so that you can gain your energy back? And here's the deal. If it's meant for you, it'll come back. It doesn't matter. But closing that door is giving you your energy back. So close the door, throw away the key, get rid of it, end the agreement, end that chapter, and there can always be another reintroduction. For those of you that are Once Upon a Time fans, I personally am, because I personally think that it is the most beautiful rendition of the spiritual awakening that is happening here on our planet, except they use fairy tale characters. I think it's great, and I love the costumes. But anyway, there is a connection there that they reintroduce dead characters all the time. You're like, where in the heck did this person come from? They were dead like a season and a half ago. My point with that being is that you can close those doors, lock them, throw away the key, and what is meant for you will come back, but regain your energy. So again, release the past. You will grow from this situation. It says time heals all wounds. I don't really agree with that. Just to say, I really believe that time heals properly cleaned and dressed wounds. We must clear and clean them out. If we just close the door and there's like this big giant monster on the other side of the door trying to peek through and you're just trying to ignore that it exists, maybe the better thing for you to do to release is to not actually close the door and shut it and lock it and like pretend that that didn't exist, but to open the door, say hello to it, and look at why is it that that chapter hasn't ended. What part of that needs to really be completed in order for you to have the freedom to move on? So there's a lot of beauty and bliss in that for you, but recognizing, we're going to use the metaphor of the doors here, right? Whether the door is if the door is not completely closed, it's siphoning your energy and the wound is not yet healed, right? So there's something that needs to be healed within it. One of the other ahas that I had this week, and this is just kind of a little parentheses to the reading, is I was taught very, very specifically that it is not our job to go around healing other people. And I do agree with that to a certain extent, right? If I go down to like sit on the corner of Whole Foods or something, like I'm not going to sit there and like heal every person that walks by because one, I don't have the permission. Two, it's going to take a lot of my own energy. But what I have realized is that within our world and in our lives, that if there is an aspect of us that has a desire to heal somebody else, that we have this like just drive or desire, it's like, oh, they have a problem, we have to fix it. I have to fix it for them. It's not them that you're fixing. There's a part of yourself that still is craving that attention, that healing for that very specific instance, or whatever it is that you are healing in that other person. It is an unresolved and an unhealed wound internally. So when you're looking at, or if you have that urge, if you're an empath, if you're a healer, if you're a mom, whatever it is, you don't necessarily have to be a, self-proclaimed healer to feel this desire to heal somebody else. But if you feel that desire, I do encourage you to look in the mirror, because sometimes we can have this desire to heal somebody else and end up just dumping our energy down an empty well. It doesn't help. It doesn't help anybody. If somebody doesn't want your attention, if somebody doesn't want your healing, then it doesn't work. But who needs it is you. You are craving that healing for yourself. You are feeling the draw and the desire to heal yourself. It's never really about the other person. So flip that script, look at yourself, and let yourself recognize that your pattern to healing, your pattern or your path to healing is going to be through recognizing these mirrors, really and truly. All right, yes, love this. So we have Archangel Haniel with the High Priestess. This is the number 2, the major arcana card. So we have powerful psychic insights, reflection and meditation that provides valuable information. Be at peace. So I'm going to ask you to be really honest with yourself and really honest with me. What does your meditative practice and what does your meditation practice look like right now? Are you giving yourself the space in each day to sit with yourself in silence? I know that some days it's harder to sit in silence than others. There's plenty of guided meditations. I know I have a whole library of them in the Intuitive Connection Academy. But what are you doing? What does your meditation space look like? Because your meditation space is going to open the door to so much of what it is that you're seeking and so much of what it is that you're trying to find for you. So giving yourself the opportunity to connect in with your own psychic abilities. Now, what's funny is I was thinking about this, I think last night as I was falling asleep, is that people are afraid of the word psychic. But when people say that they get insights or they get things drop into them in meditation, what do you think that is? That's your psychic insight. That's your own psychic energy communicating to you, right? It's your connection to your higher self. That is your psychic connection. That's your psychic insights. So whether that word scares you or not, take a look at that meditation is your ability to connect in with your own psychic frequencies. That's ultimately what it is. When you reach a heightened state of awareness, when you reach a peak experience, when you're connecting in with your highest self, that's you connecting in with your own psychic energy. So don't be afraid of that word. Allow yourself to connect in with it and recognize that we all have energy bodies, and within our energy bodies is a connection to our highest self. Your highest self is a connection to your own psychic abilities. So, hello! All right, let's go ahead and tune into, here we go, our third card. We have the Queen of Gabriel. I love this card. Passionate, charming, brilliant, and independent. You can do anything right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. So when we look at letting go, right? Letting go, let me know, tune into the comments if this is you. Letting go can be really stressful. I'm just going to say it. Because like we have to let go, right? Letting go is the key to our freedom. La, 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 la. Yay. And then you look at letting go and it's like, I know that I can get into a state where I like shame myself. Because I'm like, why the fuck can't I let this go? Why is it still with me? Why is it still here? Why do I have to keep working on this? And like I get into this like anxious tailspin of like, why is it that I can't let go, even though I know that what it is that I'm holding on to is not good for me, that it's not healthy for me, that it is holding me back, and I can see it, right? Is that you or is that just me? Because that whole letting go process can dredge up so much pain and so much anguish that sometimes it's really hard to be in that space, because the emotions that we start to feel when we dredge up those memories in order to let them go can be just like debilitating. So we stop and we don't let things go, because at that point we create the belief that it's easier to hold on than it is to let go. So if it's easier to hold on than it is to let go, then we just hold on to things. But that's a sad thing. Is that short-term satisfaction, yeah, it's easier to just avoid, deny, scroll on Facebook, do whatever you do to distract yourself. But when you actually give yourself the time and permission to feel what you need to feel in order to be able to set yourself free through the letting go process, right? Sometimes we do have to go back into the photo album. Not all times, but sometimes we do. Now, when we don't have to go back through the photo album, and what I mean by that is to these stored memories that are creating that pain, whatever it is. So when we get into that state where we can actually focus on visualizing what's coming, right? So we're manifesting, we're creating, we're visualizing, we're seeing. Okay, and some of you are really good daydreamers and visionaries, but you're not really good at actually pulling it into the third dimension, right? To making it a reality. That is the alchemist. So in order to do that, we can vision, but we must let go. We must shed these things in order to elevate into that next step, in order to transcend the bullshit. That you can step into this new life that you desire, that you want for yourself, but you must have the constant flow of creation and release, creation and release, creation and release. And it becomes a cycle of flow, right? That you release similar to your closet, right? You can't just keep buying shit and stuffing more stuff in it and stuffing more stuff in it and stuffing more stuff in it. Eventually, it reaches a capacity. No matter how much you want to say that you're good at stuffing stuff in your closet and organizational skills and this, that, and the other and vacuum sealed bag, doesn't matter. Eventually, it's going to reach capacity. So you have to clean it out or you have to clear it out in order to put new stuff in. It just really is that simple. So we have to do the same with our energy body. We have to do the same with our emotional closet. We have to do the same with what it is that is possible for us to create. I don't believe that we're meant to carry every single childhood memory with us until our death day. I really don't. So when we give ourselves a permission to create something worth working towards, when you have something worth working towards as to why you want to do the release, as to why you want to do the work, it actually makes it a lot easier to start shedding. It makes it a lot easier to let go. Some of that letting go process, it just falls away. It really does just fall away. So we look at our cards here again. We have release the past. You'll grow from this situation, right? Time heals all properly cleaned and dressed wounds. We have the High Priestess, Archangel Haniel, your powerful psychic insights. This is your meditation space. This is saying that you are going to be able to heal and release and clear and cleanse, to be able to purge, to purify. Purify. In order to move forward. So I don't know about you, ladies, maybe some men here too, but I don't know about you ladies, but with what's been going on in the media, I have been re-traumatized from my old memories from the past. My truth was that I was raped when I was 14, which was my virginity, and it created a long stream of poor decision making and just hatred and anger and a lot of resentment, a lot of punishment, a lot of all sorts of things towards the opposite sex. So for me in this period of my life, I really am getting to that point of having to release, and I know that I'm not the only one. I feel like I'm finally at a place where I'm confident to be able to speak to it, to say it out loud, to be able to be a voice for some people who haven't been able to find theirs yet. I know that some people who have found theirs have helped me to encourage me to actually communicate and speak to it as well. And so really allowing that information for me to come through. I've had to do this in my own meditation space. I've had to really release that which has been plaguing me. I've had to really find freedom and forgiveness and compassion because I don't want to carry the rage around with me anymore. I really don't. It hurts. I know where it is in my body. I know how it manifests in my body. It's not something that I want to carry. So when we're really looking at, right, release the past. Let this be you. And let this be your angel self. Let this be your angel self right here. It is up to you to nurture yourself. It is up to you to become your healing guide. It is up to you to become, right? If there's anything that happened in your past having to do with your mother or father, go back to those memories and become your own mother and father and nurture yourself in the way that you desired, in the way that you want. Love yourself through this healing process. Love yourself. Release the past. Allow it to come through and for you in this space, in your meditation space, in your psychic insights, connecting with your highest self and seeing the vision of what's possible for you in this life, right? Then we have the Queen of Gabriel. You can do anything, absolutely anything. So be the best version of yourself because that's who you're meant to be here, right? So the ability to attract helpful people, they're going to come and collaborate with you. They're going to come and hold you. They're going to come and nurture you. They're going to come there and be your own guide, your own love, your own nurturing network, right? And we do have that in the Intuitive Connection Academy. We do have that. I mean, Transformational Tuesday, it's a little bit more public, but we do have that here in this community that we're creating. So know that you are not alone. There are a lot of people on their healing journey right now. There are a lot of women screaming in the privacy of their own homes to release their own resentment and pain. There are a lot of men who are recognizing the strength that they have to stand up to being able and willing to protect us as females. That we have different strengths. We have different abilities to show up in this world. So really and truly give yourself that permission to feel what you need to feel, to heal through what is going on in the current state of our collective unconscious and our society and what is happening. Do not choose ignorance when it comes to this. Do not sit there and say, well, I choose to not watch the news because it brings me down. Let yourself be healed collectively. Let all of us be healed collectively, because what is coming up is really... I'm woosawing so that I don't just start cussing. But really, what's happening here in our society, in our love, in our homes, in our hearts, how are we not affected? How are we not affected? What is going on right now affects every single one of our relationships, affects our ability to trust one another. It affects the dynamic that we have in communities. It affects everything on a deep interpersonal relationship. This isn't to say, oh, politics is politics. No, 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 no. Let it dredge up the shit. Let it bring to the surface what needs to come to the surface. Let it. And if you have a girlfriend or a friend or someone who is going through it, hold space. The worst thing you can tell somebody is that they need to get over it. Do not say that. Absolutely do not. If somebody is going through it, listen. Just shut your yap and listen to what they are telling you, and listen to what it is that they need. Because sometimes we just need to have somebody witness our healing process to validate that it even existed or that it is even real. Yes, love each other through this. Love yourself even more fiercely. Lean on each other, sway with each other, hold hands, kumbaya, whatever it is that you need to do to make it through this, because we're going to make it through this. The reawakening of the divine feminine is obviously not happening in the shadows anymore. It really isn't. And whatever sort of oppression is happening, it's not about men versus women. It's not about Republicans versus Democrats at all. This is really and truly about all of us finding internal balance between our own masculine and feminine, men and women alike. It does not matter what gender you are or what your genitals say at all. This is about the realignment of the masculine and feminine. That it is not about females trying to match male energy in the workplace to get equal pay. It's bullshit. It's time for all of us to re-own our femininity. It's time for men to learn to nurture. It's time for men to find their own creativity. It's time for us women to stand in our own strength and balance our own masculine energy to our feminine. The reawakening in the divine feminine is not about men and women. It is not. That's the way that it's shaping right now, because we're in this antithesis process. It will come back together, and we will come back together. In the meantime, scream, yell, punch, write letters, run as fast as you can, take extra kickboxing classes, let yourself feel the anger that's coming through. The worst thing that you could do is numb and try to turn your head away and go into full ignorance of like what's happening doesn't affect you, because it does. It absolutely does. So that is my soapbox for this Transformational Tuesday. I have been very deeply affected by what has been going on in all of the best ways. How many more years do we have to carry these memories and pain? I say no. No more years. No more years do we have to carry these memories and pain. It's time to let go, and it's time to heal from it. It is very rare that I've been in a room with women who say that they have not had some sort of abuse, harassment, any sort of sexual discriminatory perversion by men. Like, why? But it's a sad truth, so we need to collectively stand by it and start to teach. And the way that we teach is by showing up for ourselves first. Okay, strong boundaries. I love you. Also, if you want to come to Morocco with me, let me know. Let me know. I want you to come. It's December 1st through the 8th, so the dates are coming up quickly. I would love nothing more than for you to journey around Morocco. It is an unbelievably beautiful culture. Morocco changed me at my core. It actually, first time I went there was helped me heal a lot of these wounds just because of the male-female dynamic there. It's completely different than what it is here, and I appreciate it more than I could even say. Morocco changed me at my core. My experience there was life-changing, and so I decided to create a retreat there myself. So if you are feeling called, if you're feeling the insight, I can already feel there's like 2 or 3 of you who are watching this right now that are feeling it, because you're connecting in with me. Hello. If you're feeling that, send me a private message. I'll get you the information. Have a little video that goes over the itinerary, all of the above. I would love nothing more than for you to join. Come travel the world adventure with me. Yay. All right, my sweet friends, I love you dearly. Morocco is limited. There are not going to be very many people coming. I just heard somebody ask that. We have capacity for 14. I'm aiming for 9. So let me know. All right. I love you, my sweet friends. I love you. Share and tag and comment in these videos. Anyone that you think would need to see it or would be helpful for them to connect. I love nothing more than to connect with like-hearted, like-minded souls and people who are dedicated to their healing, because this really and truly is the time to start your own revolution. All right. I love you. Happy Tuesday, and we'll talk soon.